Hi there, Mickey Thomas. It's Laura Steele. How you doing?
I'm good, Laura. How are you this morning?
You know,
Well,
I'm
it's morning here. It may not be morning where you are.
where are we we're in California, I'm guessing.
Yeah, right by Palm Springs.
So you're kind of if I can say this now because it's somewhat timely, you're in Coachella country right now.
Very much so. Yes, and it's that's obviously a big deal out here every year. We just finished the first weekend of Coachella, and then next weekend coming up, the second weekend coming up, and then Stagecoach right after that.
I'll tell you something, Mickey. Don't be jealous. Maybe you were there if you were living in that area at the time. I went to Old Cella, as they called it. I went to go see, let's see here. I think the first night it was
Yeah,
Dylan into the Stones. The second night it was Neil Young into Paul McCartney. And the third night it was The Who into Roger Waters. And boy,
yeah.
I felt like I fell into a dream. It was just amazing for someone like me who loves classic rock, loves the music that you've played all the years that you've played. And that's my Coachella.
Yeah, yeah. For some reason, I think maybe I was on the road because I missed that. I didn't get to go to that, but I heard nothing but great things about it. And oddly enough, that's they only did it once, and
One off.
I thought maybe that would be a recurring event as well, but nope. So I don't know why, because obviously it wouldn't have to be the same lineup every time. I mean, there's plenty of options out there, U2, Springsteen, Aerosmith, you
Well,
know.
word had
So,
it. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, Mickey, but word had it that they tried desperately to get Led Zeppelin to reunite for
yeah,
another one, and that just didn't happen. So, unfortunately, it was a one-off. But when I tell you,
yeah.
I don't want to make anybody jealous here, but it was epic. It was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I cried probably about 10 different times because it was on John Lennon's birthday, which happens to be my birthday. And so Neil Young came out with Paul McCartney, and they did give Peace a chance. And it was just one of the loveliest. I've been to, I mean, it's what I do for a living. I go to concerts, I see people like you, and I'm looking forward to your show coming up in Cincinnati on April 25th at the Hard Rock. See what I did there? See how
Yeah,
I
I did. I noticed that. That was sneaky, but
that was
good.
sneaky and
Yeah.
sick. That's why they
Uh,
pay me the big bucks, Mickey.
yeah.
Um,
Uh,
but
so,
uh,
so your birthday would be October 9th then, right?
you are
Yeah.
absolutely correct. My birthday is
Uh,
October 9th, John Lennon's
well,
birthday.
John Lennon was my favorite Beatle when I was a kid. So, I was all about John.
Well, let's go ahead and segue into that if we may. Let's talk about how going to a Beatles concert really changed the plan for your life and music. Talk to me.
Yeah, well, obviously it was an inspirational event. When I was 15 years old, I went to see the Beatles perform at Atlanta Stadium in Georgia, and I went with my best buddies, my group of friends who we had already been kind of messing around with, a little bit with trying to start a band, just I swear to God, like jamming in the garage, like
Sure.
a garage band in 1965, right? So, but once we saw the Beatles, it really inspired us to take it a little more seriously and try to like, hey, maybe we can do something with this. Let's really go for it. So it was a seminal event, obviously, in my life. It was kind of I mentioned that my group of best friends went with me, and the way we kind of figured things out was one of my friends was the drummer in the marching band, the high school marching band. So obviously, he's going to play drums. And one of my besties was left-handed and McCartney was left-handed, so we
I
said,
know
"Well,
that.
you're gonna play bass." So,
You guys were the Beatles. You in your
yeah,
mind, you were the Beatles.
we were.
The Beatles. You had
Yeah,
everything down right. Well, you had such a successful career in so many really different kind of arenas. When I don't really need to do my research because I've been on the radio for 30 plus years. I'm entering
wow.
my 36th year of playing
Oh,
classic rock on the radio. So you've been a part.
awesome.
I like to start out my interviews. I got a little off track, but the first thing that I like to do when I talk to people like you is to thank you and to thank you for the great music that gets people emotional, that gets people happy, that gets people out of their funk, that makes
Yeah,
them turn up the car radio. Thank you. Thank you for the music that you've brought to us. I appreciate you. I really
Well,
do.
you're so welcome. That's very sweet of you to say that. I
It's
appreciate that.
true. I don't think we'd be who we are as people and do what we do in life if it weren't for music. I mean, we have to have it. Listen to me. We have to have music. I'm desperate for music. Let's
Yeah,
talk about this show that's coming up. This is real important, this show, for not only you guys coming and performing for Cincinnati fans. I work on a station called 92.5 The Fox. It's a
yeah.
Catholic rock station. When we posted that you guys were coming, it got a lot of traction on our Facebook page. Like a lot of people click and like, okay, want to go see Starship featuring
Cool.
Thomas. Yeah, so really it was very, it got a lot of love. So that's going to be
Good.
a great night for you. Do you like blackjack or slot machines? Because whenever I'm at that place, I'm always right at that slot machine.
I used to play blackjack a lot, like back in the 80s and 90s, but I just kind of lost interest. I don't, I don't do that kind of gambling, but I do love to bet on football games. That's my passion
You
now.
sound like
So
my
yeah,
dad. My dad's
yeah,
out with college hoops, man. He was busy the last couple.
yeah,
They
yeah,
got a 1 point game. 1 point, Laura, 1 point.
yeah.
I don't understand all that,
It's
but
all about the point spread, right? So
it's all about the point spread. So let's talk about this show. Let's talk about April
okay,
25th at the Hard Rock in Cincinnati. Tell me
yeah.
what we can expect and those who are going to be going. What can they expect?
People can expect to hear what I hope they are hoping and planning to hear when they go in, meaning that I'm gonna, everything that I've had a hand in helping to create in all my years with Jefferson Starship and Starship will be performing. It'll be Jane, Find Your Way Back, No Way Out, Laying It on the Line, and then of course we built the city, nothing's going to stop us. Sarah, from our Starship years, Wild Again from the
Oh,
cocktail soundtrack. We've been doing that lately in the show.
so
And
many, so many,
yeah,
so
yeah.
many.
And of course, Fooled Around and Fell in Love,
Well,
which
so
is,
I know that this is probably something. Do you ever get sick of talking about the Elvin Bishop era and how that came to be? May I ask? This is just a spectacular song that really now covers all generations thanks to a movie and a needle drop, as they call it, right? The needle
yeah,
drop in the movie, Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm
yeah.
sorry, I'm not a fan, so I shouldn't say I'm not a fan. I haven't given it a chance yet. I need to do that. Tell me, real quickly, if you
Yeah.
can, about the Fooled Around and Fell in Love. What a great song.
I'm not like a huge fan of that genre of movies either, but
Right.
when the first one came out that had Fooled Around in it, I think my son was about 18 or 19 then. And so he got me to go see it with him and some of his friends. So when the song came on, he's like elbowing his, that's my dad, So it made me some points with the younger generation with that movie. But that, I mean, it's Fooled Around is, it's everything to me. It's the song that opened up all the doors for me to segue from the Elvin Bishop Band into the Jefferson Starship. And as you mentioned, it's one of those songs that it transcends generations. It's constantly finding a new life, a life of its own, and appearing in. It's been in so many movies, really. But the first few movies that it was in, it was really odd because it was in Boogie Nights, for instance.
It was in Boogie
Yeah.
Nights. Yes.
And not in one of the most romantic scenes. And then it was in The Devil's Rejects,
Wow.
a Rob Zombie film, and it was in the Spike Lee film Summer of Sam. So it kind of took a while for it to be used in the right context, I think. Like in Guardians of the Galaxy, they finally used it more in a typical romantic sense. It was a movie called Family Stone too that it was in. That was a good kind of
Oh,
Christmas
Family
time
Stone.
movie.
Yep. I know
Yeah,
exactly what you're
yeah,
talking about.
yeah.
Yep, you are exactly right. So a lot of needle drops, as they say.
Yeah, a lot. And it came about, it was my first album with the Elvin Bishop Band, the Strutting My Stuff album, after becoming an official member of the band. And we were in Miami making the album, and we were pretty much done with the record. And the great producer who produced the album, Bill Simzik, he kind of said to Elvin, like, do you have anything else? Do you have another song? I feel like we might be missing one piece of the puzzle here. And Elvin was kind of scratching his head, like, well, I don't know. And he had played me a rough version of Fooled Around, like about a couple of years before that, before I was even in his band. But it stuck in my head and I remembered it. Um, even then, when I first heard it in the rough form, it like touched a chord inside of me where I just felt a connection to that song. And I said to Elvin, well, what about Fooled Around? And he said, oh, yeah, yeah, I forgot about that. So we played a little bit for Simzik in the control room, and he said, yes, I love it. Let's cut it. Let's cut that track. So we kind of worked it up real quick and cut the track. And um, it was
Top
uh,
five hit, if I'm not mistaken. I think was
it
it
was it was number three.
wait, number three? It was a top five.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember. What a great song. Always,
yeah,
always and forever. It will. That's the
yeah,
one thing about songs like that. It will always be a great song. Sometimes you have
yeah.
songs that are just like kind of in the moment, and I can't think of the Macarena or songs like that. I'm not saying it's a bad song. I'm just saying it's
Right.
just fooled around and fell in love. It's always forever going to be that great song. And there's so many songs with Starship and all the songs that you've done. I mean, just there's so many that you just oh Sarah. I mean, there's so many
Yeah.
great songs and really looking forward to hearing them. April 25th again, Hard Rock Casino in Cincinnati. Okay, so let me ask you this. You're in Coachella country. Is there any
Yeah.
new music you dig? I mean, is there anything? Have you watched any of the highlights? Are you a Bieber fan? Are you a Sabrina Carpenter fan? What are you liking for music in the new generation? If you've got kids, I have an 18-year-old. She loves fooled around and fell in love and loves older music,
Yeah.
loves new music too. What new music do us older people like? I could say
Well, I like some new music. Like as far as Coachella, if you rattle off an artist, I probably couldn't tell you like any of their songs. Like I didn't really, I wasn't familiar with Bad Bunny for instance. I mean, I knew who Bad Bunny was, but I couldn't
either.
tell you like one of his songs or something.
Right.
But having watched his performance at the Super Bowl, it like really touched me, and I thought, wow, now I get it. This is really It's awesome. It's emotional. It was inspiring what he did, I thought.
Yep.
So I like a lot of it. I just don't get exposed to a lot of it. Mostly, I like the bands. I like new bands, of
Yeah.
which there are not a lot these days to choose from. And to me, when I say new bands, to me, some of the new bands are still like bands from the '90s. Like
Right.
Oasis and Radiohead and Muse and
There's
bands
one
like
band,
that.
there's one band that comes to mind for me that I tend to see quite a bit. I saw them at Lollapalooza because I took my daughter there last year or the year
Yeah.
before. Cage the Elephant, very good band.
Mm.
Cage the
Hmm.
Elephant, an excellent, excellent band. Uh,
Very good.
yeah, I mean, and then you go back, like you said, to the 90s. I think Foo Fighters, love them. How could you not, right? Great.
Arcade Fire. I love Arcade Fire.
Arcade, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And so many, there are so many that probably sometimes I stay in my lane too much, but I am a classic rocker. I will forever be a
Yeah.
classic rocker and even kind of the lighter side of classic rock and some of the stuff. And I'm into yacht rock. I'll tell you what I love. I love funk. Give me the funk. I love funk music. I
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, funk music is great. The Ohio Players
Oh yeah,
and
man.
Function and Earth, Wind and Fire and so many great, really great bands. The only thing I haven't really gotten on board with is country music. I was offered a job in radio, a really good job to do country, and I said, I don't think I can even fake it, but I respect it. I respect it, but I'm not a country music fan. That I know. So, but I am a fan of your music, and that's why I was
Yeah.
really eager to talk to you. And I'm so glad
Mm.
we spent time together. Is there anything else that you would like to share about what's going on with you, other than this date that we've got coming here in Cincinnati? I'd like to give you this time to share anything if you've got information,
Um,
people can find you, learn more, whatever.
I put out a Christmas album last Christmas for the first time ever, something I'd always wanted to do. And next month I'm going to be cutting about three more songs to put out a deluxe edition of the Christmas album this coming Christmas. You have to get a real head start on those Christmas albums and record them in May or June to have
Right.
it out in time.
Christmas
So,
in the summer. Christmas in the
yeah,
summer.
I'll be doing that, and we're actually working on a documentary about my career and my life, and it's when you mentioned fooled around, I've been kind of like lately, kind of like digging deep into some of the older stuff, looking at old interviews and footage that I can find that we might can use in the documentary, and we're going to be interviewing Elvin Bishop next weekend for the
Oh, that's
documentary.
great. Oh, that's
Yeah,
fabulous. Oh my
yeah,
goodness. Okay, well, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's amazing.
yeah,
You got into that in the way that you did and sang vocals and people think it's Elvin Bishop. No, 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 no.
yeah.
It's Mickey. So we'll clarify that for people like, what?
Well, I'm still on a mission, to educate people about that because to this day, when we do Fooled Around, and I do it every night in the show because it's still probably my favorite song to sing. But every night there's always I see faces in the audience where the light bulb goes on and they go, "Oh, I didn't know he sang that."
That's him.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
kind of cool, people always ask me if that was disappointing to me in the beginning that maybe people thought, that's Elvin Bishop singing or who's singing it. But it was kind of cool because it became a story
yeah,
in the business, especially behind the scenes. People were wondering who's the mystery voice
yeah,
behind Elvin Bishop's mega hit, and so in a lot of ways, it was helpful to me in
yeah.
a way. It
Very cool.
created a
Well,
real story.
go hear Mickey sing Fooled Around
Yeah,
and Fell in
man,
Love. April 25th, Hard Rock
you
Casino
bet.
in downtown Cincinnati. Really is a beautiful spot. And Cincinnati, I know you've played there before. It's really a great
Yeah,
city. You'll be surrounded by the ballparks. You got the Reds
yeah,
ballpark right there. You've got where the Bengals play, and it's
yeah,
right near the Hard Rock. So you'll be able to enjoy a beautiful a venue right there on the Ohio River.
yeah.
And I'll wrap it up as I started it or sort of started it. Thank you for everything, Mickey Thomas. I appreciate all that you've given us in the world of music and the songs that will live on forever and ever. And I appreciate you spending time with me today.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. You're welcome. And I want to thank you too for continuing to play all of those great songs
Thank you
from
very
that
much.
era that we all helped to create.
We,
I
we we're
appreciate
both
you.
we're both working hard on that, right?
Mutual Admiration Society.
That's
We've
right.
got
Thank you
here.
so much, Mickey. Have a great rest of your day. Appreciate you
You
so much.
too.
Okay,
Thanks,
bye
Laura.
now. Appreciate you.
You
Bye bye.
bet. Bye bye.